Hey, what's up, Dividend Nomads? Welcome back to the channel. My last video had so many comments and questions. It's really hard to keep up with all of it. So I thought I would make a dedicated video to share for you guys to try to answer as many of those questions and things as possible. So a lot of people had the same questions, and it's really hard to just go and answer to everybody. And so hopefully this will answer those questions that a lot of people have. I'll try to put the timestamps below so you can skip ahead to whatever part interests you the most. And yeah, so let's get into it. And I guess first of all, before we actually start answering the questions, I want to tell you guys that I'm not like some type of professional investor, finance person like that. I'm not rich. I'm just sharing my own personal journey of what this life looks like to me in terms of investing and freedom and just the things that I do. So I'm not trying to teach anybody anything because I don't feel like I'm qualified to really teach anybody anything about investing. I can only share with you my thoughts and how my brain works and what I do, and that's it. It's really that simple. So that being said, now that you know that, I got some of the stuff here. I'll try. There's so many, it's really hard to keep up with them all, but I'll try to answer some of them that I've seen a lot of people asking a lot of the same questions. So I try to address those the best I can. So let's get into the first one, because this is the one I really don't like, the one I like the least. Everybody always asks me all the time, taxes. What about taxes, taxes, taxes? How much do you pay in taxes? What do your taxes look like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. First of all, I'll tell you, my situation is very different and unique compared to a lot of other people's. So, my taxes probably not going to be relevant to you in your situation, but I'll still share it with you anyway. So first of all, I live in China, and I've been living here for more than 15 years. And I have a registered business in China, and I have to pay taxes here in China. Now, I also earn income in America from things like book sales and YouTube and things like that. And of course, dividend income. And of course, as an American citizen, I'm obligated to file taxes and pay taxes on the income that I earn in America, even though I live in China. So the way I look at it is, you can work a regular job and pay taxes and be tied to a boss, an employer, a location, and all that kind of stuff. Or you can live off of dividends and go wherever you want to go, anywhere you want to go, without alarm clocks and all that other crap, and still pay taxes, right? So you have pay taxes doing this or pay taxes doing that. Me, personally, I prefer the latter. It doesn't mean I'm any better than anybody else and nothing like that. I just chose a different path. The traditional path is not for me. It's not what I like. Doesn't mean, like I said, doesn't mean I'm better or you're wrong or you're right and none of that stuff. We're just doing different things. But no matter which one you choose, you got to pay taxes, okay? You got to do that. My situation allows me to do things slightly differently. I mean, I still got to pay taxes and file taxes and all that other stuff, but my situation is very different because of my living situation and business situation. So that makes my situation just completely different from most people's. So yeah, pay your taxes. It's really that simple. Pay your taxes. So another question we got. Love the honesty. Where's the accent from? I'm from Kentucky, born and raised in Kentucky, but I've been living abroad for almost 20 years. So I've been living outside of America for 18 years, actually, to be exact. 15 years in China, 3 years in the Philippines. So 18 years abroad. So my accent, actually, I lost a lot of my accent. My family speaks really, really Southern accent. And when I talk to them, they would say, "You talk funny. What's wrong with you?" So, yeah. Are you a veteran? Get VA disability? I do not get VA disability or no military pensions and nothing like that. But I was in the Army way back in the day, back in like 2001. So many, many years ago. Why do you try to talk like a thug? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know what you're implying. I just talk the way I talk because that's just who I am. Sorry, I can't help the way I talk. You don't like it, then bad. Sorry, whatever. What kind of visa do you have to live in China? I have a resident permit and a green card here in China. Now, how do I do it? as I mentioned before, I have a business here in China, a registered business, and that allows me to have a resident permit and a green card. And so I've been doing business here for over 14 years. I actually own a fitness business. I started out doing personal training, like in gyms, face to face. And then I switched to like a combo of online training and face to face training. And then I started importing fitness supplements from America, Canada, UK, a place like that, and selling them here in China. And it's actually how I made most of my money to actually invest, was from doing this business. And so yeah, that's how I have a visa and resident permit here in China, and how I can stay in China long term without coming and going. And that being said, I would not recommend trying to live in China on a tourist visa and doing visa runs and all that stuff. I would not do that. If that's the kind of thing you want to do, I would recommend Southeast Asia. I wouldn't try that in China or something like that. It's asking for trouble. So yeah, I wouldn't do that if I were you. What else? How much money do you have invested to be able to generate this kind of income? So first of all, it really depends on your portfolio and what you choose to invest in, because there's so many different routes. I mean, you can have $1 million in your portfolio and make $1,000 a month, or you can have 50,000 in your portfolio and make more than 1,000 a month. It really depends on what investments you choose to invest your money in. And like I said, I'm not a teacher. I can't teach you how to do this. I just show you my journey and what I do. And so yeah, that's really it. That's all I can tell you about that. Also, where's your portfolio screenshots? Why don't you share it? Every single Saturday, I share my high yield portfolio. I share my brokerage, not like a screenshot, nothing like that. I actually share a video of my brokerage as we go through it together, and I talk about what's in my portfolio, and I also share with you behind the scenes of what's actually happening in the portfolio. I share with you the good and the bad with 100% transparency. When things are bad, I show it. When things are good, I show it. I've got nothing to hide here, because I'm not trying to sell anybody anything, and I'm not trying to convince anybody to do anything. I'm just sharing my own personal journey. So that being said, on this channel on Saturdays, I do share my high yield portfolio. On Sunday, I usually share my Roth IRA, which is a work in progress. I'm actually restructuring it now for a different, just to head in a different direction. And I also share a small portfolio that I've been growing from scratch, just to show people the journey from scratch and what it looks like. Now, that being said, I have 2 portfolios that I do not share on this channel. And one of them is a crypto portfolio, which, number one, the crypto portfolio is not worth sharing because there's not much money in it and it's nothing special. My other portfolio I've had for quite a while, and I try to keep that private for a couple of reasons. And actually, one of the reasons, I'll tell you, to be honest with you, I come from a poor family, poor background, and all the people that I used to be friends with back in the day and all that stuff, we were all poor folks, including me. And but a lot of people even see my small portfolios, and they come out of the woodwork asking me for things, asking for handouts, asking for money, asking for this, asking for that. And so I keep, one of my portfolios private, because I don't want people to really know, how much I have, whether it be a lot or no money. I just don't want to share that with people, because I will have so many people knocking on my door asking me for money, asking me, can I get some money? Let me borrow this, let me borrow that. I need some help with rent and all this. People ask you all this kind of stuff all the time, and even now. But the less that I show, the less I have these kind of problems, and I don't have to deal with this kind of crap. So I try to avoid that situation by being a little bit private about some of my investments. So that's why I don't share everything that I own, but I do share most of what I own. So yeah. Next, about family, wife, kids. I am not married. I am divorced. Long story, but yeah. Long story short, I was married. I was in the Army. Came home, got divorced. You guys could do the math on that, or figure out the rest of the story, I'm sure. But anyway, I do have 4 kids. All of my kids are grown. actually, while you're watching this video, right now, while you're watching this video, I am probably either with my youngest son. He's studying to be a pilot, actually. I'm either with him or I'm with my one and only daughter. And she's actually a lot like me, her personality-wise, the way she thinks, the way she acts, a lot of things she does is just like me. And she's also very entrepreneurial. She even has her own little business. But yeah, I'm with one of them right now while you're watching this video. So yeah, 4 kids, all grown. I don't pay child support and like that because they're all grown up. What else do we have here? How do you have the right to live in China? I covered that already. If you're earning so much money, why don't you fix your teeth? Okay, I'll share that. If you guys really want to know, if you're that concerned about my teeth, I'll share it with you. About 39 years ago, I was in an accident and it broke out most of my teeth. And I had to be rushed into an emergency dental surgery. And this was back in the early 1980s, right? And in the 1980s, cosmetic dentistry wasn't at its peak. I want to say that. It was very bad back then. And also, as I mentioned, I come from a poor family. We didn't have nothing. We didn't have any money, nothing like that. And my parents actually didn't even have insurance and nothing like that. And they had to go in debt to pay for the emergency dental surgery to fix my teeth. And, back in the 1980s, and I was a young kid, the doctors did, what they could with the limited amount of money that they had to do the work with. And, yeah, they did the surgery expecting that, I would grow up and, maybe things would get better. I don't know, but never happened. And then now that I'm actually, in a position where I can afford to fix it if I want to fix it, I haven't done that. And I'll tell you why. There's basically 3 options I was given, and I've had multiple consultations with multiple different dentists. Number 1, I could pull all my teeth and get dentures. Number 2, I could pull all my teeth and get implants, my whole mouth implanted, which I do have several implants already. Or number 3, do nothing. And actually, most of the dentists that I talked to, they recommended me to do nothing. They said keep your original teeth as long as possible, because once you remove your teeth, a lot of people have serious declines in health really fast. And they said the longer you can keep your original teeth, the better you are in terms of overall health and longevity. And for me, I would rather live a long, healthy life with messed up teeth than look good and get the approval of somebody on the internet and be unhealthy. So I choose the former. I'll just keep my teeth. And if I don't look like somebody you wanna look at or listen to, that's fine. Hey, I get it. That's fine with me. It doesn't hurt my feelings any. I would rather be healthy and live a long, healthy life instead of putting myself at risk for some kind of early sickness or early disease or cutting my life short, all because I was vain and wanted to look a little bit better. So that's just me, but that's why I don't fix my teeth. I still go to the dentist on a regular basis and all other stuff, but I'm not going to have no more surgeries and do anything. So, that's it. Usually a lot of people actually who make these kind of comments are people who like to try to make people feel bad. And those are usually people that I don't involve in my life or associate with, just because those type of people have this mindset like, maybe something's not good in their life and they try to take it out by trying to hurt other people through these type of comments. But, like I said, it's happened like 38, 39 years ago. I've been dealing with this my whole life. So, those kind of things don't bother me. I got thick skin, especially once you've been in the Army and grew up in the places I grew up. You don't care about this kind of stuff. So, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, that's that. What else do we have? Do you have to learn Chinese? No, I don't have to learn Chinese, but I do know Chinese. I do business in China, so I can speak Mandarin and I can speak Cantonese conversationally, not 100% with 100% fluency, but I can speak about any topic, to anybody with no problem. So, yeah. What dividends do you recommend and why? I don't recommend any dividends. Anybody, uh, what I do is what I do and what works for me. I can't tell anybody else how they should invest because I'm not a professional. I can't tell you what you should do. I learned this by doing it myself and experimenting, and it's caused me, I've lost money and I've made money, and I just made changes and adjustments based on what fits my risk tolerance and my lifestyle and my experience. So I can't really teach somebody else exactly what to do and with your money and your portfolio. So yeah. Of the honesty, where's the accent from? Oh, I'm from Kentucky, born and raised in Kentucky, in Western Kentucky to be exact. And yeah, I've been living abroad for almost 20 years, so my accent is not, I guess say not standard, I guess, because my family speak very different than I do. Even when I talk to my family, sometimes they say, "Oh, your accent sounds funny. Why do you sound different?" And I think they sound funny. So, I've changed a lot since I've been living abroad, especially speaking Cantonese and speaking Mandarin and being around so many people from so many different countries. My accent has slowly changed in many different ways. So yeah. Am I going to stay in touch? Yeah, I'm going to stay in touch wherever I'm traveling. I still make videos. I just won't be in this location. So yeah. How do you entertain yourself? Do you ever run out of stuff to do? No, I do not run out of stuff to do. How do I entertain myself? Number one, as I mentioned, I'm very big into health and fitness. So I spend a lot of time doing healthy things like going to the gym, and even at home, I would do stretching and things like that. And I also have hobbies like YouTube. I enjoy doing YouTube videos. I'm not like trying to get rich off of this and trying to teach people anything. I just do it to share my journey of what it's like being a dude who's living abroad and share my life. So friends and family and stuff like that back home can also keep up with what's going on in my life without me having to call them all the time, things like that. So that's what I share, and that's what I do for hobbies and stuff like that. And yeah. Can you make a video how to navigate China and Thailand and all these places in America and going, I could make a video about that, but to be honest with you, there's other people who make those kind of videos who do a really wonderful job. There's a guy in the comments who mentioned Vagabond Awake. I've watched a lot of that guy's videos. He's also an American dude. He's a little bit older than me, but he has some really, really good videos about living abroad and navigating different countries in terms of cost of living, places to go, and all these other things, and a lot of good tips and stuff like that. And I would recommend watching his videos if that's something that you're interested in terms of living abroad and how to navigate those things. I don't know the guy. I'm not friends with him. I've never even talked to him. I just watch his videos. And there's also another guy that I like to watch. His name, I don't know his name. He calls himself Retire and Go. I think that's the name of the YouTube channel, Retire and Go. I really like his videos too. He makes a lot of videos about traveling and living abroad off of dividends, similar to me. But I don't think he has a home base. He just travels to different countries, like slow traveling, which is something I like to do too. But I also have the home base here in China because I do business here. But I would check out those two guys, Retire and Go channel and the Vagabond Awake channel. Both of those channels I think are really good channels to watch if you're interested in this travel type of lifestyle. Actually, I have a channel too, but I won't tell you guys about that one. It's got like 7,000 subs or so, but it's nothing special. Not nearly as good as those guys' channels. Let's see. What's the point of videos like this if you have the secret life hack and you want to keep people from coming there so you don't raise the cost of living, blah, blah, blah. 99.9% of people are not going to choose to live this life, so it doesn't matter if I share it or not. Nobody's going to do this. The very few and select people will actually do this, so it's not going to be enough to change the cost of living or drastically impact my life. So I don't mind to share my life with you guys. You still have to pay taxes? Yes. How much do you need to do this? I covered it already. You're going to have a hard time if the dollar keeps weakening. You should diversify something outside the U.S. I'm not doing what other people do. I do my own thing. Yeah. I just want to say, like, just because you have a different point of view or a different idea about investing doesn't mean that, your way is wrong or right. If it's different from mine, it doesn't mean that at all. We just go about things differently. And, what works for you might not work for me, and what works for me might not work for you. So, keep all those things in mind when you're thinking about doing this type of thing. You just have to kind of experiment with it and learn what works best for you and your risk tolerance and your lifestyle. If you can live off of dividends and you're in shape, then you're rich. It's not a question, but I do think if you have your health and peace of mind, you are rich. You don't even have to live off dividends. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Like, a lot of people have the same questions. So yeah, there's not really too much else to talk about. I'll just tell you guys this before we finish the video. As I mentioned, I come from a poor family, poor place, and had a lot of struggles in my life, from poverty and gangs and violence and trauma, depression. At one point in time, I was even homeless on the street. And I moved abroad, and I found some purpose in my life. And that purpose led to me overcoming depression and gaining peace of mind and feeling more comfortable with my life and how things were in my life. And then once I got to that point where I overcame the depression and had peace of mind, then I started earning more money and becoming more creative, and started investing and things like that. And then my life drastically improved after all of those things happened. But I came from rock bottom to now feeling, I'm not, like I said, I'm not rich, but I feel great. I feel comfortable, and I'm really happy with where my life is right now, where it's going. And if you want to know about that, I actually wrote a book about it right here. It's called Unbroken: My Path from Pain to Purpose. And I wrote this book, and it's just a very short book, a nice short read, but it tells you my story of how I overcame all those things and what led me to be where I am today. So if you're interested in that, it's in the link below. And newsletter in link below, 100% for free. You get on newsletter, and I share with you updates about my life right now, where I'm at, and how I'm feeling about the places I'm going, and share tips about budgeting and things like that that's working for me. I share all those things in the newsletter for free. If you sign up to the newsletter, it'll probably go to your spam box, so check your spam folder. And if you don't want it to go to your spam folder all the time, you can move it to the contacts, and you'll get all the emails usually once per week or once every other week. I don't send them out very often. And anytime you get an email from me, the newsletter, you can hit reply and send me a message. And, if it's have the time to answer you guys' questions in those emails, I'll try to answer it, but I can't answer like 5 million of them. But I try my best to keep in touch with you guys. If you guys, want to chit chat or just share something with me, more than welcome to hit reply to the email. And that's really all I got for you guys today. Thanks for spending some time with me. Do me a favor, if you like this video, hit the like button and watch the next video, where I share with you what it's really like living here in China. I'll take you guys on a tour of my apartment and share with you guys some budgeting stuff and how much it costs to live this life and what it looks like really living this life. You'll see all those things in the next video, so check that one out. And see you guys next time. Y'all take care.